Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Mackmyra Limousin. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Mackmyra Limousin. The guys at Mackmyra were kind enough to send me this bottle, but I'm free to give my open and honest opinions about it. This particular bottling is the last of the seasonal range from Mackmyra. It'll be interesting to see what they do next, but I'm sure it'll be interesting like all the seasonals have been so far. This particular bottle is 46.1% ABV, it's non-chill filtered and it's natural colour. It also retails for £62, but what makes this interesting is the Limousin name. It's aged in ex-Ferrand cognac casks. It's also aged in ex-Oloroso and ex-raspberry wine casks. So hopefully this will give a really nice and interesting flavour. Should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whiskey. So before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I'd say that's like almost like a golden syrup colour. It really is a nice hue. Let's start with the nose. Right, so the first thing I get with this is a lovely sort of sweet honey note. Getting some vanilla. And then there's like a spiciness, like baking spices. Then it moves on to like red berries. Like strawberries, raspberries, red currants, possibly. But it's interesting how the fruitiness on the nose is changing, because I'm getting like blueberries now. I'm also getting like hedgerow fruits, like blackberries. And interestingly, one thing I get on this, which may, well, hopefully it won't put you off, but it's quite subtle. There's like a baked bean note. It's like a really soft tomato juice or tomato sauce. It's not unpleasant at all, but yeah, it's not what comes through first on the nose. And I'd say it's a little spirit forward as well. The spiritiness definitely sort of wakes up those nostrils. Let's move on to the palate. What I get on the palate first with this is a lovely creamy texture. It really is soft, it really is mellow to start. But then you get that sort of spiciness. There's a real barrel spice. I'm sure this comes from the French oak, but the spiciness it's got a lovely tinkle to it. It really does liven up and waken those taste buds. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so I'm starting to get red fruits now. There's a slightly tannic note that I'm guessing either comes from the Oloroso or the raspberry wine, but the tannic note actually adds to the flavour of that fruitiness. It really is quite nice. Then I'm getting like a toasted cereal note, like barley and oats. It really is nice. And yeah, in terms of finish, I'd say that barrel char, along with that sort of spicy, peppery note that I got to start with, really is quite nice. It tingles. There's some vanilla, that sort of heat that goes with the spice. There's also the honey that I picked up on the nose, and there is a little bit of a slightly sort of dry tannic note. And I'd say it's probably medium long in length, but that spicy note really is the most noticeable. In terms of value, well, this retails for £62, which is about right for this particular bottling, you know, the seasonal range is always around that sort of price. It's a non-age statement whiskey, but I'm sure the whiskies in this are probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old at least. I think this is a particular whiskey which you either have to like the spicy character, or you have to be a Mackmyra fan to want to buy it. It's not a bottle that I've reached for much so far. I think that spiciness, although it is lovely and that is its redeeming feature, I think this particular whiskey doesn't do enough for me to keep reaching for it. Maybe as it goes down, maybe as it mellows, maybe as my palate develops, I'll reach for it more often. But I think the ideal audience for this particular bottle possibly isn't me, but it's still a pretty well made whiskey nonetheless. I'm looking forward to find out what Mackmyra do to replace the seasonal range, as this is the last, as I've already said, in that range. So it'd be interesting to see where they go from here. But like always, Mackmyra are always doing something interesting, and if this sounds up your street, I'll put a link in the description, and if it doesn't for whatever reason, hopefully you'll come back for more. I'll see you next time. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.